Well, hello, Convention of States supporters, and welcome back to another episode of COS Live. My name is Andrew Woodruff. I'll be your host for this episode, and of course, I'm joined by my co-host, the lovely Rita Peters, who is also the Senior Vice President of Legislative Affairs. Rita, how are you?
I'm doing great. We're snowed in here in Virginia today.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that we can't send some of our sunshine from California over to you, but you know
Yeah,
what? The
yeah.
politics of here are just abysmal, so I don't know. Pick your poison on that one. Well, it's great to be with you, Rita, today. It's great to be with all of you tuning into the audience. Send us a message. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to hear from you. Send us a message in the comment box. While you're at it, send out a like, a retweet, a share, wherever you're getting your social media buzz. We need to get the message out about this gift that the founders gave us. It's an Article 5 Convention of States. Speaking of that, it's go time for us here at Convention of States. 21 states have already introduced Article 5 legislation for consideration. One of those states is Iowa. There's going to be a huge rally coming up in Iowa, so we are going to bring on the state director to give us the scoop on the details of that rally that's coming up. We have our Article 5 trivia giveaway with COS Vice President Mike Ruthenberg. But first, at the top of the show, since there's so much going on right now with Convention of States, as we've introduced legislation in 21 states, and we have a bunch of states that look like they are very promising, Rita, our own Vice President of Legislative Affairs, is going to give us an overview of what states are hot right now, which states have COS legislation that's coming up. And she's just going to give us a overview of what is going on. So Rita, I'm going to turn it over to you to give us an update.
Well, Andrew, it is off to the races already in 2022. As I'm giving you this rundown, I also want to brief our viewers on the legislative process because we want you to be in the know about how state government works and how you can make an impact. We estimate that less than 1% of Americans ever engage with their state government. So, in the words of Samuel Adams, it doesn't take a majority to prevail, but an irate, persistent minority eager to set brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. So here we go. As you said, Andrew, we already have 15 states that have passed our Article 5 application, and those are Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, Indiana, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, Mississippi, Utah, Louisiana, and North Dakota. Whew, that's quite a list, isn't it? Those states are now waiting for their sister states to pass the resolution to get us up to 34. 21 additional states are already lined up to consider the Convention of States resolution this year and have active legislation. Those include Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. And those 21 states have at least introduced our resolution with legislative supporters, and we're expecting that more states will join that group in the coming weeks. The next stage after the resolution is introduced or filed would be for there to be legislative hearings, committee hearings. This is where public testimony is heard by a committee. For example, the Massachusetts legislature held a hearing on our resolution this past Friday, where citizens could sign up to share why they support our resolution and want the legislators to vote yes for COS. Next, a committee votes on the resolution. If successful there, the full chamber can debate it, whether that be the state's House or Senate. Just like the U.S. Congress, each state has a House and a Senate in their state capital, with the notable exception of Nebraska, which has a unicameral legislature and it only has a Senate. If the resolution is successful in the full chamber, the House or the Senate, it then goes over to the other chamber with the same committee process before the other chamber could vote on what would be final passage of the resolution. There are a handful of states that are already in the middle of this legislative process, thanks to our successes from 2021, because some states have 2-year sessions. So, for example, Nebraska could vote this week. They are the one we've got our eye on right now, so stay tuned later this week. We plan to go live when the votes are scheduled, so you'll be able to watch the whole thing unfold. Meanwhile, the South Carolina House has already voted overwhelmingly in favor of our resolution. So that's the House. We're halfway home in South Carolina, and we expect the Senate side to take up our resolution soon. And then there's Wisconsin, which has also passed our resolution through their assembly, which is their version of a House. They are expecting a final vote from the Senate side. We're looking at some time in the next couple of weeks for that vote, and that will be one you don't want to miss. This is a super exciting time for Convention of States, and we're really optimistic about 2022. The kickoff to every year is like this, with a flurry of activity all at once. So expect us to be going live more often to show you coverage from various committee hearings and floor debates, where you'll get to witness history in the making of statesmen stepping up to take back America because we, the people, have made our voices heard. As always, make sure you're sharing the petition. And if you want to make a real difference, ask your state legislator to vote yes for COS. We have a tool on our website that will match you right to your legislator. You should also reach out to your local COS team by going to conventionofstates.com/take_action. Get to know your state team so that you can support their specific strategy. They will give you particular action items once you get trained and are onboarded. Sometimes we get asked why we can't tell our viewers when certain votes or hearings will happen ahead of time. And there are multiple reasons for that. Sometimes we don't know until the last minute when a hearing or vote will be scheduled. That's just how a lot of legislatures operate. But if you want the inside scoop, join your state COS team. Be a part of the process, because that's how this will get done. You can't just expect someone else to do the work for you. You have to get engaged and take responsibility for your state and your nation, because we, the people, are in charge.
Rita, thank you so much for that thorough update. I'm really excited to see what's in store with Nebraska, with all the other states. It's very, very exciting. So we're just going to have to watch with bated breath to see what happens. We're going to get to Iowa in just a few moments and the rally that's there. But before we get to that, we have, of course, our Article 5 trivia question with COS Vice President Mike Ruthenberg. Mike, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew and Rita. Here we are. Boy, we're in the heart of our COS legislative season. You guys have taken the time to come and be here. It shows you just how important it is that we communicate with you. The grassroots make everything happen. You guys, you hear we talk about the inverted pyramid where you guys are at the top and it goes all the way down. And our job is to support you guys. And we're supporting you in so much that's going on right now. It's going to be fun because you're going to hear about a monster rally today on this show, not to mention some other great things that are coming up. But anyway, I'm here to talk a little bit about the Article 5 trivia, give you a little bit more knowledge about how it works. So I'm going to jump right into that. I'm wearing right now the American Patriot COS shirt. And that's what I'm going to give away to the person that can nail this question. Remember, bring up the comments. Comments do make a huge difference, because the more you are commenting, again, the more you participate, the more important this is. And it will get distributed and put into the feeds of more people by you guys participating. So don't just think you have to have the answer to this question, and maybe you do, but you should be talking about things that really matter, because more and more people are coming in because of that. People you know will see, oh, they're really engaged in this broadcast. Therefore, I better check it out and see what's going on. And that's why they'll put it in front of more of your friends, more of the people that matter to you. So here's our question again. I'm going to give away one of these American Patriot t-shirts, which I love. And of course, if you don't win, you can go to shopconventionestates.com and you can pick out whatever you like. It has been, our store is on fire right now. People are loving the products that are there. And I think you'll love them too if you go there. Anyway, so this question I hope is top of mind to many of you. And if it isn't, then this is a really great thing to know, because I use this talking point quite a bit. And the question is, how many amendments have been made to our Constitution through the Article 5 process? That's our question. It's pretty straightforward. I would be willing to say that we probably have an answer already. And I hope that's the case. And I hope to see that answer over and over and over again as we go through the broadcast, because it's important to know how many amendments have been made to the Constitution through the Article 5 process. So that's our question. I'll be back towards the end of the show after you have a great opportunity to hear Rita and Andrew on this show and talk with our State Director of Iowa, Karen Schuster. I'll be back in a little bit.
Joining us today is Karen Schuster, who is the State Director for Convention of States, Iowa. Karen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's really a pleasure to have you. Tell us about this big event that's coming up. Give us the rundown. Why are you holding this rally? Who are some of the keynote speakers, and where is it going to be?
Well, thanks for having me on. Yes, it's big news in Iowa. We are having a rally at the Iowa State Capitol on January 25th at 1 p.m. to stop government overreach. We have an out of control, overspending, overreaching federal government, and it's time to take back our government. Iowans all over the state have signed up on our website, takebackourgovernment.org, to let us know that they are going to stand up, speak up, and show up at our rally on January 25th. And we have some really great headliners coming our way. Serving as MC for our rally, the leader of one of the nation's largest grassroots movements, our own Mark Meckler, president and co-founder of Convention of States. Our rally speakers include Blaze TV talk show host and fellow Iowan Steve Deace. Senator Rick Santorum will be speaking. Senator Santorum served our country from inside the swamp, and now he's fighting the swamp from the outside as senior advisor to Convention of States. He spent a lot of time in Iowa when he was a presidential candidate, so he's very familiar with our state. He knows how cold January is in Iowa, and he's coming back anyway. And we Iowans are looking forward to giving Senator Santorum a very warm welcome back. We have great sponsors for our resolution, and we'll be hearing from them, Senator Jesse Green and Representative John Wills, as well as other legislators who support our resolution. We've got plenty of parking at the Capitol complex and a free DART shuttle to take you to the Capitol. We have chartered buses to the rally from select locations throughout the state. We'd love to have you join us on the 25th for our rally at the Iowa Capitol. To sign up and for more details or bus service, go to our website, takebackourgovernment.org.
Wow, Karen, I almost wish you had a bus that could take me there from Virginia, because it sounds awesome. Your Iowa team has had victories in this process in recent years, some subcommittee victories most recently. But this year, we are really pulling out all the stops to get the job done in Iowa. As you mentioned, Senator Rick Santorum became famous by campaigning in all 99 counties there and winning Iowa in the 2012 presidential race. Steve Deace, you mentioned, he is a highly influential advisor and media personality in Iowa. And of course, our very own grassroots warrior, Mark Meckler. Tell me how your team is feeling about this event. How energized are you all there in Iowa?
Well, our expectations are high that our Iowa legislators will listen to their constituents and pass our resolution. I've had legislators tell me that they get more emails and more calls for Convention of States than any other issue. A year ago, at the beginning of 2021, we had just over 20,000 Iowans who had signed our Convention of States petition. It had taken us 7 years to get to that point. Over the past year, our team of volunteers here in Iowa has worked to spread the word about Convention of States in a very big way. As a result, an additional 19,246 Iowans have signed the Convention of States petition, nearly doubling our total in just 1 year. And I think what that says is Iowans are ready. We are ready to make our voices heard. We are ready to take back our government. We are ready for a Convention of States. And it's all going to start at our rally next week on Tuesday, January 25th.
That is so encouraging, Karen. It really sounds like Iowa is on the move right now, and that's just great to hear going into 2022. Just so much enthusiasm that you'll have. And producer G tells me that he's going to be there. The man behind the camera is going to be there with you in Iowa. Live streaming event was to help Iowa volunteers, but even though there's this ability to live stream it and watch it kind of from the comfort of your home, how important is it to actually go to an event like this? Can we get this job done without ordinary citizens? And do you have a call to action right now for the viewers who might be tuning in who are in Iowa?
Yes, I would encourage everyone to be a part of the solution. And there are 3 things you can do. 1, if possible, come to our rally at the Capitol on Tuesday, January 25th at 1 p.m. We'll be inside on the first floor rotunda. Sign up at takebackourgovernment.org for more information. 2, call your state legislators and let them know that you want them to support the Convention of States resolution. And 3, spread the word. The Convention of States project brings a message of hope for our country. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors about what we are doing at Convention of States. Tell them this is what the founders told us to do when the federal government becomes oppressive. If you don't feel prepared to talk about Convention of States, take our video courses at cosuniversity.com. You'll find answers to your questions and answers to our opposition. The video courses at cosuniversity.com will equip you to be part of the solution.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Karen Schuster, State Director for Convention of States, Iowa. Karen, Iowa is one of the 21 states so far considering our Article 5 legislation this year. That, again, is an application for an Article 5 convention for the purpose of proposing amendments to place fiscal restraints, term limits, and other constraints on the federal government. So I understand that our legislation is still in the drafting process there in Iowa. Why don't you tell us a little bit about our sponsors and the current status there in Iowa for this year?
So for the House, we have Speaker Pro Tem, Senator John Wells, and he is working to get the correct language. We want our resolution to match the other states that have already passed. And so that is going through legislative services, and that will be sent then to the subcommittee and then further on to the committee. Same thing is going on in the Senate with Senator Jesse Green. He is a new senator. Our original sponsor has stepped down, and so Senator Jesse Green has picked up the mantle. Again, they are working to get that resolution and make sure it matches. We don't want to have any problems when that goes through the subcommittee and down to the committee and get that passed in both chambers.
Let's talk a little bit, Karen, about just the volunteers, because they're amazing. We can't just love on the volunteers enough, but we have something like over 10,000 volunteers with Convention of States. Even though we have dozens of staff, national staff, it doesn't even come close to the amount of volunteers that we have, and they show up day in and day out, and they're in the front lines fighting for liberty, even though that they are not paid. And it's just absolutely amazing that they give so much to this organization. Why do you think the volunteers all across the nation and the volunteers in Iowa, why do you think they give so much time and talent and treasure towards this organization?
There isn't anything more important going on in our nation today. We have got vaccine mandates. We've got big tech censorship. We have school indoctrination. And volunteers are doing this not just for themselves, but for their children and grandchildren. We have the tool in the Constitution to fight against this oppressive federal government. And our volunteers know that. They know this is the only solution that we find in our Constitution. And if we're going to reclaim our country, this is the only way that we will be able to do that.
Absolutely right, Karen. Well, for all of our Iowans watching right now, how can they learn more about this awesome event that's coming up and possibly even sign up for a bus if they need transportation to get there? I understand there's a website.
Yes, we have takebackourgovernment.org. You'll find out the details about the rally, and when you sign up, you'll get emails and texts if you sign up for those as well to tell you the details as we go along and get closer to the event. It also tells the where the pickup points are for our buses. So go to takebackourgovernment.org to find out more about the event.
Karen, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure talking to you and hearing just the amazing work that you and the Iowa team are doing with this rally. Looking forward to seeing it, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're now going to switch over to Mike Ruthenberg, who has the answer for our Article 5 trivia giveaway. Mike, over to you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I do, to know that Karen Schuster is going to be elevated for the work she does. More importantly, all the grassroots people that are involved in this rally. Buses coming from everywhere. It's just what an amazing, amazing arrangement. A lot of work to make it happen, but a lot of consequence, a lot of good consequence for doing this type of work to not only get our resolution across the finish line, but also to make sure people understand how to get involved in the electoral process, how to get involved in the legislative process, how to get involved in holding our elected officials responsible and holding them to the things that their constituents, which is you, want. Okay, so let's go back to the Article 5 question, or our trivia question for the day. At stake is one of these shirts, the American Patriot t-shirt. If you didn't win it, if you don't win it, go to shopconventionestates.com and you can pick one up yourself or pick something else that you like. There's tons of stuff in our store right now. For those of you that weren't here in the very beginning, the question was, how many amendments have been made to the Constitution through the Article 5 process? And the answer is 27. There are 27 amendments to the Constitution. It's a great thing to know. It's a great thing to keep top of mind, because we have done a great job of fixing some of the problems with the Constitution. A lot of people think, oh, yeah, there's all these problems if you're going to add any kind of an amendment to the Constitution. But keep in mind that the first 10 amendments to the Constitution are known, I'm sure you're familiar with this, as the Bill of Rights. The other interesting thing is that those 10 amendments came because those were not considered in the Constitution. As a matter of fact, there are many people that would not sign the Constitution, or very reluctantly signed on to our Constitution, knowing that we needed to amend it in order to put in, the 13th Amendment ultimately, or actually, let's talk about the First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech, the 5 areas of the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, right to bear arms, the Fourth Amendment, anyway, I could go over all the amendments, but the thing that's most important to know is those are important aspects of our Constitution. And that's why we have this amendment process. The other thing that's interesting to know is all 27 of these amendments have come through the first method of amending the Constitution. That means the Congress is the one that brought these up. And then, of course, they're brought out to the states, 38 states, in order to ratify before they become a part of the Constitution. So they're literally just suggestions until they're ratified. That's what we have for today. Now back to you, Rita and Andrew. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Mike. We do this show every week to reach, teach, and activate Americans with the constitutional empowerment gifted to we the people. The framers knew this day might come, And that's why they included Convention of States in Article 5 of the Constitution. If you're ready to take your place among the Americans who did whatever it took to save the Republic, sign up for one of the volunteer roles with COS. Go to conventionofstates.com and click the Take Action tab to get started.
Mm-hmm. And you got to be following us on social media as well. We're on Rumble, MeWe, Facebook, Twitter, Parler, Instagram, and we've recently joined TikTok. Make sure that you're viewing the content, liking the content, and of course, sharing that content so we can get this message out about the secret weapon the founders gave to us. You can also listen to this program and other historic legacy content from Convention of States on our podcast. Just search Convention of States on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Amazon Music, or Audible. Please leave us a 5-star review because that's how we get the show to grow. You can text START to 54555 to bypass big tech and get important COS messages. Again, that's text START to 54555. Make sure that you're watching The Battle Cry with COS President Mark Meckler. It's on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see you next week for another episode of COS Live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time as usual. Remember that politics is not a spectator sport. You've got to get involved in this fight for liberty. So we're counting on you. Thanks for watching.